Earlier this morning it was announced that Kyrie Irving has agreed to in terms to a 5-year $90 million max extension with the Cleveland Cavaliers, which he will later sign on July 10th when it becomes available from the NBA. Now the thing I want to talk about with you guys today is Kyrie Irving worth this max extension in today's NBA, where point guard is one of the easier positions to come across a good player? Now, one first important thing to note is Kyrie Irving's injury history, which dates all the way back to Duke, where he missed all but 8 games to a broken hand before entering the NBA to be selected first overall. Now, as you can see, since that injury is Duke, he's missed 29% of his career eligible starts, and he's missed 49 games three years into his NBA career. And it's really a question, is he injury prone? I mean, none of the injuries have been horrific. They've all been little things though, such as broken hand, broken nose. He just can't seem to stay healthy, and that's something very important to note when you're trying to sign this guy who's supposed to be your franchise player to a long-term deal. I mean, with his injury history, you never really know. Now, what I really want to talk to you guys though is do you think Kyrie Irving is worth this max extension? I personally do not think Kyrie Irving is worth a max extension. Close to a max extension maybe, but not a max extension. I mean, I really believe he's a one-way player. There's no doubt he's a great offensive talent, but every year he's been coming back with diminishing returns and field goal percentage. And he's never really brought anything on the defensive end. I mean, sure, he gets some steals now and again, but it just harms the team defense usually. It's usually just gambling, going for a steal. I mean, he has all the tools to be a great on-ball contender too. He's got great foot speed, good wingspan, good hands, but he's just never put it all together. And so, if Kyrie Irving's a max guy now, since they signed into a max contract, what does that make a guy like Eric Bledsoe, a guy who brings great defense, very similar offensive game, while not such a great shooter? It's pretty similar. And a guy like Kyle Lowry, who's not going to receive anything close to a max extension, despite bringing a similar injury history, similar offense, and better defense. I mean, there is an age difference, but it's something important to know. I mean, if Kyrie Irving is a max extension player, does that mean anybody who's a great offensive talent should be a max guy? I mean, you have to think your franchise player's got to be a guy who plays both ways. I mean, you look at recent teams that have tried to build around one-way players like Carmelo Anthony. I mean, it just hasn't worked out, so I really am questioning this decision by the Cavaliers. I mean, they lose a lot of future flexibility from this deal. I mean, they have a lot of other rookie contracts that are going to be running up too, such as Tristan Thompson, Dion Waiters, who they're going to have to re-sign as well. I just really think they could have gotten better value, maybe on the trade market, or even tried to work him into a lesser deal, even though I don't think he would have taken it. I'm not going to lie, I've never fully been on to the Kyrie Irving fan bandwagon, but I just really think this money could have been better spent elsewhere. Maybe on a franchise big man such as Greg Monroe. I think he has great potential to be a star player. I mean, in today's NBA, where point guard talent is so prevalent, I just think this is a really questionable decision. It's also important to note they just drafted Andrew Wiggins, who could be a great two-way franchise player, I believe. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Leave your thoughts below. Please subscribe, and thank you for listening.